In today's video, I'm going to share 7 tips for successful college music auditions. As a college professor myself with a lot of experience preparing students for auditions and also having listened to many auditions over the years, I've created a roundup of the most frequent advice I give to pre-college students who are preparing for auditions. Welcome to the Piano Prof. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Dr. Kate Boyd and I'm here to help you take your playing to the next level, and I'm also here to provide resources on collegiate piano study. If this sounds good to you, please give this video the thumbs up and hit the red subscribe button. Okay, let's get started. An audition is often an opportunity to receive a music scholarship in addition to whatever academic award you may also be eligible for. So it's important to carefully consider the audition process and show up as prepared as possible. Here are my 7 tips for anyone considering collegiate piano study. My first tip is to research your schools. Toward the beginning of your college research process, you need to go to the music part of the website of the schools you're interested in applying to and write down the audition requirements for each one. Some schools will require specific repertoire. For example, they might say you must learn a Beethoven sonata, whereas other schools will have more general categories. For example, they might say contrasting time periods. Make sure you understand what the requirements are. Once you have a list of schools narrowed down, then contact a piano faculty member at that school to ask for any clarifications you need about their audition repertoire. You can also ask them if they're available to meet to talk about their program, and you can even ask them if you can have a sample lesson with them if you think that they might be the person that you would work with if you were to go to that school. You can get their email address right off their faculty webpage on the website. I know it might seem a bit daunting to contact a professor directly, and it's not necessarily typical in other disciplines. I know, I get it. But just remember these 2 things. It's actually part of our job as music faculty to recruit students to our school. So any music faculty member should be delighted to hear directly from an interested student. And also, the admissions office of a university does not often communicate with individual faculty about interested students. So if you schedule a campus tour, for example, and you're going to be there on campus, the piano faculty member will almost certainly not know you're coming to campus unless you contact them directly. My second tip is to ask your current teacher for help. Consult with your teacher about the audition repertoire and the pieces that you've played or that you're currently working on to ask for help in selecting the pieces that you will play for your auditions. Preparing for college piano auditions is a really big project, and your teacher can help you in 4 ways. Your teacher can give you advice on appropriate schools to apply for, and they can also tell you about good programs and teachers to consider. Your teacher can help you choose appropriate audition repertoire based on your strengths and weaknesses, and also taking into consideration the audition requirements of the schools you're interested in. Your teacher can help you prepare the audition repertoire, and your teacher can help you by writing a letter of recommendation for you for your college applications. My third tip is to choose your audition repertoire strategically. Choose pieces for your audition that you're comfortable with and that also showcase your strengths. A lot of people make the mistake of learning a bunch of new pieces for auditions, and they don't give themselves time to really polish it and achieve true comfort with their pieces. Consider going back and relearning something that you've played really well within the last year or so. Also, try to find pieces that not everyone else is playing. This is really important. There are some pieces that are played extremely often in auditions, and you want to avoid those because you want to set yourself apart from all the other people who are auditioning that day. My fourth tip is to make a timeline. Auditioning for colleges has a lot of moving pieces, and it takes place over a long timeline. Check the dates of your auditions and come up with a realistic timeline for when you'll have all of your music ready for the audition. Choose audition dates based on how ready you're going to feel by then, and if you're auditioning at several schools, which I really highly recommend if possible, schedule the auditions so that the travel between them makes sense. My fifth tip is to practice a lot. Your music audition is the basis by which an audition committee will recommend music scholarships. So you need to practice hard, and you need to learn your music well in advance. A good benchmark for preparation is to have your pieces memorized and performance ready a full month before your first audition so that you have plenty of time to do practice performances, record yourself, and refine your interpretations. So if your first audition is January 20th, make sure to have all your pieces fully learned and up to tempo and memorized by December 20th. My sixth tip is to shore up your scales and sight reading. Many schools ask for sight reading and/or scale playing at piano auditions. If you can't already, work toward being able to play all major and harmonic minor scales, hands together, 4 octaves, fluently, expressively, and with correct fingering. Sight reading is a skill that intimidates many pianists, but the good news is that can be improved with practice. To practice sight reading, I recommend looking for music that's about 2 to 3 levels of difficulty easier than the repertoire you're currently working on, and spend at least 15 minutes a day actively practicing your sight reading. My 7th tip is think about your career path. You need to consider what music degree you're interested in because the application forms usually ask you to select a degree plan. Also, at the audition, the faculty there might ask you questions about your career goals, so be sure to have some answers ready to go. Not everybody knows this, but there are many different types of music degrees. Now's a good time to start thinking about whether you're interested in a general music degree, a more specialized music education or performance degree, a double major with another subject, or a degree like arts administration or recording industry studies. I've created a free collegiate audition checklist that you can get by clicking on the link in the description of this video. In it, I outline all the steps you need to take from the beginning of your college audition journey all the way to your audition date and beyond. If you like this video, please share it with someone who might also find it helpful. You can also check out some of my other videos here and here. Let me know what questions you have about collegiate music study, audition preparation, or piano study in general. I'll see you next time, and happy practicing.